chosen one. The road ahead will not become clear because you force your eyes to remain fixed upon a message, but because you learn to become calm, face the truth directly, and refuse to let fear guide every choice you make. I know there have been days when you felt as though something were following behind you. Not a figure you could see, but old memories, warnings, mistakes, and anxieties that you had not yet laid down. You tried to move forward, yet inwardly you kept looking back, afraid that the past would catch up with you, that an unexpected event would destroy what you were building, or that one moment of inattention would cause you to lose a valuable opportunity. Today, I have not come to make that anxiety greater. I have come to remind you that deep security is not created through constant vigilance, but through understanding, healthy boundaries, and faith that you can face whatever comes without losing yourself. Archangel Michael, the faithful messenger, protector, and executor of my will, stands as an image of courage during the seasons when you once felt weak. Michael does not hold your hand to keep you before a screen, nor does he tell you that protection becomes stronger if you remain listening for longer. Protection under my authority does not depend upon how long you watch a message, upon a sentence you write, or upon a declaration made before a crowd. Michael reminds you to stand upright, look at what is false with watchful eyes, and refuse to bow before words that use fear to control you. I remain the Father who guides you directly. The words I give you are not intended to make you panic about what may be behind you, but to help you move forward with discernment and a peaceful heart. Some truths were hidden from you, not necessarily because someone secretly planned to keep you from seeing them, but because while you were in the midst of pain, you could not observe everything clearly. You once viewed a relationship through what you hoped for, rather than through the way that person actually behaved. You called silence patience, inconsistency circumstance, and the feeling of continually having to guess another person's intentions a form of profound love. You were not foolish for seeing things that way. You were simply trying to preserve something precious, with the understanding you possessed at the time. Yet now, having traveled farther, you can look back with more mature eyes and recognize what you were once. Not calm enough to name accurately. The truth may also concern you. Perhaps you once believed that you always had to be strong, carry everything alone, and never disappoint anyone. You believed that if you rested, everything would collapse. If you said no, people would leave. And if you expressed your needs, you would become a burden. These beliefs kept you under tension for so long that exhaustion began to feel normal. Yet, my beloved child, the fact that you cannot do everything is not a failure. You have limits, and those limits do not reduce your worth. You need rest, support, and private spaces in which to recover. A secure life is not built by never needing anyone, but by knowing how to choose trustworthy people, seek help at the right time, and stop feeling ashamed that you also need care. Perhaps there is a door within you that has remained tightly closed for many years. It may be the door leading toward forgiveness, a dream you abandoned, a conversation that needs to begin, or the ability to trust again after being hurt. I do not promise that this door will suddenly open within seconds, but I invite you to examine what is keeping it closed. Are you afraid of failing again? Are you still waiting for another person's permission? Do you believe it is too late to begin again? Sometimes a door does not open because you have not yet dared to place your hand upon it. When you recognize this, do not condemn yourself. Begin with a manageable step. Speak honestly with someone trustworthy, rewrite your plan, learn a skill, or apologize where an apology is needed. Great doors are often opened through small but consistent choices. I know you have prayed for change, but change does not always appear as an unusual event. Perhaps what you receive first is the ability to sleep peacefully after a long period of anxiety. Perhaps you begin concentrating again. Stop checking the things that hurt you, or no longer react intensely to words that once had the power to break you. These changes may seem humble, but they reveal that the power of the past is weakening. Do not despise peace merely because it arrives gently. What is truly lasting rarely needs to make great noise to prove that it is present. You also do not need to believe that something can happen only once, and that if you miss it, your entire life will lose every future opportunity. I do not guide you through scarcity of this kind. Certain opportunities do have their proper time, but one delayed choice does not lock your entire future. You may have missed something good before, but you can still learn to recognize the next opportunity. You may have made a mistake, but you can still correct it. You may once have lacked courage, but courage can be strengthened through each step you take. I do not place one single moment before you, and then turn away forever because you were not ready. My love is more patient than your fear. If you feel a stirring within your chest, receive it calmly. Not every sensation is a sign of danger or a prediction that something dramatic is about to happen. Sometimes your body is responding to exhaustion, stress, or an awakened memory. Breathe slowly, sit down, drink some water, and observe what you are feeling. Are you afraid? Are you remembering something from the past? Are you tired from carrying too many responsibilities? When you accurately name an emotion, it loses some of its power. You do not need to interpret every disturbance as a message from an unseen world. I have given you awareness so that you may care for the real life unfolding in the present. I do not want you to imagine that danger is only a few steps away and can be erased only if you continue listening. Such language traps your heart in fear, while my love leads you toward freedom. If you are facing a genuine danger, seek concrete safety, contact someone trustworthy, and receive appropriate assistance. If what you fear is only a vague feeling with no clear source, give yourself time to become calm instead of feeding frightening images. Faith does not require you to deny reality, but neither does it encourage you to turn every anxiety into a mysterious battle. I want you to live with awareness, not in a constant state of alarm. What was once used to hurt you may gradually lose its power. But this reversal does not necessarily mean that the former circumstances will disappear completely. Sometimes what changes is the way you respond. The person who hurt you may still never apologize, yet you no longer wait for that apology in order to live. A memory may still exist without determining the mood of your entire day. A rejection may still make you sad without causing you to conclude that you are worthless. Mature freedom does not require the past to become different. It allows your present no longer to be controlled by the past. You may once have wanted a rewriting that would make every painful thing appear never to have happened. Yet I do not need to erase the old chapters in order to help you create a more beautiful story. Those pages were real, and they contain both loss and lessons. What is rewritten is the meaning you give them. You no longer see yourself as someone abandoned, but as someone who learned how to rise. You no longer call yourself a failure, but recognize yourself as someone capable of learning from a wrong decision. You no longer view sensitivity as a weakness, but learn to combine it with boundaries, so that you may become profound, without being easily exploited. The story changes when you change the way you live after what happened. I do not need you to type Amen in order to agree with this process. A voluntary prayer may be beautiful, but it is not a button that activates protection or unlocks your future. You may quietly express agreement, but let your life confirm what you say. If you desire to begin a new chapter, stop feeding the habits that pull you back into the old one. If you want peace, leave conversations that continually throw your heart into confusion. If you want to be respected, begin expressing the boundaries that need to exist. If you want healing, allow yourself time and seek support, instead of forcing yourself to become well after a single declaration. A new chapter does not begin when every external circumstance becomes favorable, but when you make a different choice within a familiar situation. In the past, you may have chased someone who was leaving. Now you can allow them to accept responsibility for their decision. Before, you remained silent to preserve harmony. Now you can speak truthfully and calmly. Previously, you blamed yourself for everything that failed. Now you can distinguish your responsibility from what lies beyond your control. These choices may not be loud, yet they change the direction of your life. Forgive those who once concealed the truth, but do not use forgiveness to deny the consequences. Perhaps they acted from fear, selfishness, or immaturity. You may understand without agreeing. You can release the desire for revenge while still asking for clarity. You may wish them peace without granting them renewed access to parts of your life they once failed to value. Forgiveness frees your heart, while boundaries protect your future. You need both, so that neither bitterness nor naivety keeps you from moving forward. Forgive yourself for the times when you did not recognize things sooner. Forgive yourself for overlooking signs, believing promises, and returning to places that never changed. You cannot use today's understanding to condemn the person you were then. At that time, you were searching for love, safety, or one ray of hope. Now you have learned more. Honor the lesson by choosing differently, not by continually humiliating yourself for what you once did not know. Michael remains an image, reminding you that courage is not aggression or the desire to defeat another person. Courage is the ability to face truth without turning away, leave what is no longer healthy, and protect peace without becoming cold. Under my will, protection does not cause you to live in fear of everyone. It helps you love with open eyes, allow trust to develop through a process, and refuse to give your confidence merely because someone speaks emotionally. You do not need a shield strengthened by remaining with a message. You need principles of life strengthened through daily practice. My beloved child, the important thing you are about to understand is not hidden within a secret that forces you to seize it quickly, but within the discernment that is helping you see clearly what once confused you, slowed your progress, and stole your peace. I know that recently your heart has experienced unusual restlessness. You may have felt tired without understanding why, struggled to concentrate upon what matters, or realized that certain relationships no longer feel as safe as before. Do not panic or immediately assume that a dangerous event is approaching. Regard these feelings as an invitation to pause, listen to yourself, and honestly examine what needs adjustment. Archangel Michael, the faithful messenger, protector, and executor of my will, stands as an image of courage and discernment, reminding you that genuine protection does not cause you to live anxiously, but enables you to face truth with a calm heart. I remain the Father who speaks directly to you and guides you. Michael does not decide your life in my place, nor does he use unusual sensations to force you to believe a prediction. Through his faithfulness, I want to remind you that you can stand firmly before what remains unclear. You do not need to chase every sign or decode every feeling in order to know the future. Some answers become clear only when you slow down, observe the actions of others, examine the results of choices, and become honest about what is happening. What was once hidden is not necessarily a secret message from a distant place. Sometimes it is a truth you have sensed for a long time, but lacked the courage to name. Perhaps there is someone close to you whose words and behavior do not truly agree. They may say that they care, while behaving in ways that continually cause you to question your worth. They may promise change, yet the things that hurt you continue to repeat. They may become gentle when they need you, and distant when you need them. I do not want you hastily to condemn anyone, because you cannot see everything taking place within another person. Yet compassion does not require you to close your eyes to inconsistency. Observe calmly. Do not listen only to what someone says when emotions are intense. Look at the way they live during ordinary days, the way they accept responsibility when wrong, and the way they respect your boundaries. If you discover that someone has not been honest about their intentions, do not allow disappointment to make you bitter. They may be acting from selfishness, fear, immaturity, or because they themselves do not understand what they want. A reason may help you understand, but it does not make unhealthy behavior something you must continue accepting. You have the right to ask questions. You have the right to request clarity. You also have the right to step back when a relationship continually leaves you anxious. Speak truthfully and respectfully without using anger to humiliate the other person. Yet do not diminish your emotions merely to preserve false harmony. Peace is not built by avoiding every difficult conversation. It is built when truth can be spoken, while the dignity of both people is still respected. Do not believe that every hardship in your life is caused by a secret darkness preventing blessing. Some obstacles arise from circumstances, unwise decisions, procrastination, inadequate preparation, or the limitations of those involved. Looking at practical causes does not make your faith smaller. On the contrary, it helps you recognize what you can change. If a goal is not progressing, examine what knowledge, resources, or perseverance may still be lacking. If a relationship has become chaotic, ask whether both people communicate clearly and accept responsibility. If you are continually exhausted, ask whether you are carrying things that do not belong to you. Discernment leads you out of helplessness and restores your ability to act. Some things you have called obstruction are actually reminders that your life needs to be reordered. Perhaps you have attempted too many things at once, scattering your energy until nothing is completed well. You may have spent too much time thinking about someone who remains unclear with you, while neglecting your work, health, and the sincere relationships already present. Perhaps you have waited for inspiration, a sign, or a perfect moment when what you truly needed was to begin with one small step. I do not condemn you for losing your direction. Yet now, examine what is distracting you from your most important values. Not everything requires your attention. Not every argument deserves your response. Not everyone has the right to enter the deepest places of your life. the clearing of your path. That I desire does not mean that every obstacle disappears naturally. It means that you learn to release the things making your steps heavy. Lay down the need for everyone to understand you. Stop trying to prove your worth to someone who has already chosen to diminish you. Do not spend hours imagining what another person is thinking when their actions have already given you enough information. Focus upon what you can do today. Complete a responsibility, care for your health, reorganize your time, seek help, or speak a truth you have postponed for too long. When you stop spending strength in places that produce nothing good, you have more energy with which to build the future. You may be very close to an important change, but do not imagine it as a guaranteed event that instantly overturns your whole life. A genuine turning point sometimes begins with a very private decision. You no longer respond to a disrespectful conversation. You dare to apply for a new opportunity. You seek advice instead of continuing to hide your difficulty. Or you stop returning to someone merely because you fear loneliness. These choices may not astonish anyone, yet they change your direction. A new road forms. When you repeat healthy decisions, long enough for them to become a way of life. I know you have waited a long time for something good. You prayed for stability, suitable work, a sincere relationship, or peace after months of uncertainty. I hear these desires, yet I do not want you to measure my love by the speed at which they are fulfilled. Some things need time because many factors must be prepared. Some desires change because you have matured and no longer want what you once wanted. Other things do not arrive in the form you imagined, yet open a healthier direction. You do not need to explain every delay as a conspiracy against you. Continue doing what belongs to your responsibility and keep your heart open to roads that differ from the original plan. A blessing is not an object rushing toward you that can be lost because you fail to declare the correct sentence. It may appear through an opportunity, assistance, a mentor, improving health, reconciliation, or your ability to view a problem through new eyes. Sometimes a blessing is a rejection that protects you from what does not fit. Sometimes it is the ending of a relationship that prevents you from continuing to lose yourself. Sometimes what is good does not immediately make your life easier, but helps you become freer, more honest, and more responsible. Therefore, do not search only for what excites you. Seek what produces lasting fruit. Peace, clarity, kindness, and the ability to live according to the values in which you believe. I do not require you to write, "My blessing is on the way," in order to make a promise grow. You may speak a hopeful sentence if it helps you remain steady, but do not turn it into a transaction with me. A comment does not determine your future or cause you to receive greater favor. Hope takes root through the way you live after prayer. Are you preparing for the opportunity you desire? Are you keeping your word, developing your skills, and treating others uprightly? Are you learning to manage what you already possess, or only waiting for something greater? Sincere faith does not merely say that something good may come. It helps you live responsibly, while the result remains unseen. If you desire a new job, prepare your skills and application. If you desire a healthy relationship, learn to communicate, establish boundaries, and take responsibility for your emotions. If you desire financial stability, look honestly at your income, expenses, and habits that need to change. If you desire peace, examine which sources continually bring chaos into your heart and have enough courage to limit them. I can give you wisdom, opportunities, and strength, but you must cooperate through concrete action. No one can live your life in your place, and no angel will make the decisions you are invited to make. My beloved child, be cautious of the belief that everyone is trying to oppose you. Some people may genuinely have treated you unfairly, but if you view every relationship through suspicion, you will no longer recognize those who are sincere. Discern without becoming distrustful. Observe without judging hastily. Ask questions while remaining willing to hear an explanation. When evidence shows that someone is not trustworthy, maintain the appropriate distance. Yet when someone accepts responsibility, changes through action, and respects you, allow time and opportunity to rebuild trust. You do not need to open the door unconditionally, but neither should you allow old pain to lock every new door. If truth is revealed and causes you pain, remember that truth has not come to destroy you. It may dissolve an illusion, while simultaneously freeing you from continuing to invest in something unreal. You have the right to grieve. You may regret what you once believed and need time to accept that someone is not who you hoped they were. Yet do not turn disappointment into contempt for yourself. You trusted because you wanted something good, not because you lacked intelligence. The lesson is not to stop trusting everyone. The lesson is to allow trust to be built through time, consistency, and action. Forgive the person who was dishonest with you, but do not interpret forgiveness as an immediate return. Forgiveness keeps you from carrying the desire for revenge. Trust is something different and must be rebuilt. Someone who is genuinely remorseful will understand why you need time, will not pressure you to forget, and will not use guilt to force you to reopen the door. They will accept responsibility without blaming circumstances, demonstrate change through the way they live, and respect your decision, even when it is inconvenient for them. You may hope that they find healing while still choosing not to continue beside them. Forgive yourself as well. Perhaps you still blame yourself for failing to recognize things sooner, overlooking a sign, or offering another opportunity after many broken promises. Yet the person you were then could choose only through the understanding available at that time. Do not use today's light to humiliate someone who had to walk through uncertainty. Thank that former version of yourself for trying to love, and promise that, from now on, you will listen to truth sooner. Protect your boundaries more carefully, and stop calling one-sided sacrifice loyalty. Self-forgiveness does not erase responsibility. It gives you strength to live differently. Michael reminds you of courage, but courage does not mean preparing to fight everyone. It means daring to live uprightly when dishonesty appears easier, asking questions when something is unclear, and leaving a place that no longer respects your dignity. It is also the courage to admit when you misunderstood, apologize when you caused harm, and change a decision you once defended. True strength does not harden your heart. It helps you preserve gentleness without remaining easy to control. Now stop waiting for a rare event to confirm that your life is changing. Create change by living differently within familiar situations. When misunderstood, you do not need to become angry in order to prove yourself. When another person remains silent, you do not need to chase them in panic. When a plan has not succeeded, do not rush to call yourself a failure. When an opportunity appears, examine it carefully rather than allowing excitement to cloud reason. These new responses are evidence that you are growing, and that the road ahead is opening in a way more profound than the eyes can immediately recognize. Release what distracts you. Comparison, the desire for revenge, the habit of checking the past, and the need for another person's recognition before you can believe in your worth. Free your time and strength to care for what truly matters. Return to your family, work, health, and the people who consistently remain sincere. Rediscover the dreams you abandoned, but pursue them with planning and perseverance. You do not need to change everything in one day. Every good step repeated will create a new direction. Then allow your heart to return to stillness. Nothing is pursuing you. No blessing needs to be preserved through fear. You do not need anxiously to monitor every sign in order to know whether you are protected. Breathe deeply, rest, think, and choose what helps you become more sincere, kind, and steadfast. Peace is not the feeling of never encountering hardship. It is the ability not to allow hardship to possess your entire mind and direction. I want you to enter tomorrow with gratitude for the understanding you have gained, with forgiveness, so that the past no longer makes your steps heavy, and with hope rooted in practical choices. Be grateful for the people who showed you sincere love. Be grateful for the lessons that sharpened your discernment. Be grateful to yourself because, despite your exhaustion, you still desire to live kindly. Gratitude does not deny pain, but it prevents pain from hiding every good thing that remains. I am with you when truth is revealed, when you need to release a relationship, and when you gain enough courage to open your heart to a new beginning. Archangel Michael remains the faithful messenger and an image of protection beneath my will, yet no one can live, choose, or mature in your place. You have been given understanding, dignity, and the ability to walk. Use them with humility. The greatest blessing may not be an event that astonishes you. It may be the increasingly peaceful person being formed within you. Someone no longer easily swept away by promises, no longer defined by another person's silence. Able to love without forgetting themselves, and able to forgive while maintaining boundaries. Continue as that person. Live more honestly today. Choose more courageously in the next moment, and treat yourself more gently after every stumble. When you do this, you do not need to wait for the future to announce that your life has changed. Every day lived with discernment, gratitude, and mature love has already become the beginning of a better road.